I was asked to speak today by Abigail Ryan on behalf of Teagasc on the issue of labour in the dairy industry. We speak a lot about how to be a better employer and how to attract staff on farm, especially in this era of expansion where people need extra help on farm. One of the things we wanted people to walk away with was an action plan or a tool bag that they could use on farm when they got home. The easiest thing we felt in relation to that was as much training and opportunity as there is out there for employers to develop themselves. One of the critical things that most employees will criticise farmers for is an inability to manage time efficiently, both their own as owners and equally their staff's time. To answer that, we came up with the idea of something very simple, which is literally looking at the farm year in a macro picture, which is looking at the 12 months, understanding what are the key things that are taking up time in that, and also where time is spent for you as an individual. Taking a yearly planner, so something that you might hang on your wall, and dividing it up and taking away, discounting the time that you want to spend on your own life, for example, your summer holidays, time with family, weekends off, etc., reduces the amount of time that you physically have on farm to get your work done. That means you've got to take into account that when you're asking staff to do work, that it's possible that they have outside interests as well that they want to take time off for. If you don't have those conversations very early on in the employment contract, well, then you're going to run into issues elsewhere and you're going to have very dissatisfied employees. Respecting your employees' time is a key motivator for your staff to stay with you and to commit to the workload that you're asking them to do. You would start by discounting the time that you know is gone in any 1 year, so summer holidays, as I mentioned. Then you would look at the farming year, you would look at the hot spots within the year, so time when staff can't leave, for example, the spring calving block where you can't afford to have your staff go on holidays. Maybe you have a very pressured time around the breeding period and you don't want staff to leave then, or there's sometimes the mistaken belief that the rest of the year is quite quiet in farming once you get past your calving block. The year is quieter, but it shouldn't be so quiet that you're doing nothing, because in reality you should be planning your year so that your following year is efficient and as stress-free as possible. So taking the big look of the year in general, looking at what you need to do across the year, looking at what you need to do in the coming months, looking at what you need to do on a weekly basis, and then getting it down to the individual day is a really good way of understanding what your business requires, what you require any employee you have to do that you currently have employed, and equally where you might need staff across the year. The dairy sector needs to challenge its assumptions about employees. Maybe you don't need a full-time staff across the year. Maybe having 3 people to fill one role would work. Maybe you just need somebody across spring, or maybe you need somebody across summer. And having different options makes it much easier for you to run your business effectively without finding yourselves in the middle of a stress period, not knowing what to do or where to find help. So proactively planning to make your year more efficient is one of the key things we believe you can do to improve the employee-employer relationship.